Hey everybody, welcome to the Player's Take. It's your host Montrell. Justin will not be able to join us today. He got into an accident, not a serious accident, but he's trying to recover from that, and we wish him well. He had to go to the hospital and everything for that. So this will be a short episode because I also had to go to the hospital last Thursday as well. I thought I was having a heart attack, but I was just having had extremely bad chest pains and um yeah, it was. I thought I was having a legit heart attack, but I went to the emergency because it happened while I was driving after one of my connect things, and yeah, then I had to check myself into the emergency or whatever, and it turns out it was really bad, maybe really bad indigestion or acid reflux, but it wasn't in my stomach. It was in my chest, like where my heart is located. So they did some tests on me, and I went to the doctor, GI specialist, the next day for all the stomach and stuff, a specialist for that. And yeah, they put me on a pill on that for 2 weeks, and I can't eat anything or eat anything crazy for 2 weeks. So I can't have caffeine, I can't have soda, I can't have or pop, I can't have like cheese, I can't have uh anything, like almost anything, fried foods or anything like that. So, which is crazy because I don't really eat that much fried foods. I eat like a snack pack of vegetables, like legit vegetables and hummus every day. Um, like raw vegetables and hummus every day, and I work out. But I haven't been working out for the past. I worked out last week, but or the week before last, but I haven't been working out before that for like 3 weeks. I kind of fell off, so I think that has something to do with it as well. They did say my blood pressure was high. Could have been because I'm nervous, but I did buy a heart monitor as well. So, because I was really freaked out, even though they said it wasn't a heart attack, my blood pressure was high at the time. So, I'm trying to monitor all that. Um, so I'm just gonna get straight into it. This is gonna be a short episode, like a really short episode. It's kind of late. I'm actually recording because I was trying to figure out what to do. Um, so I haven't really been playing anything. I've been playing League of Legends. I lost at least 10 games straight. I fell all the way from silver 3 to fucking bronze 1. I went to bronze 2. Now I'm in bronze 1 now again. Um, yeah, Justin hasn't been online or anything like that, so it's just been me, and it's really bad out there. Yeah, I don't miss the solo queue life. I need my duo back. So hopefully he comes back and we can, he can carry me again or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I'm just playing mid lane now. I stopped supporting. I tried to do jungle for a while and it wasn't working out as well. So I just went back to mid lane and now I'm carrying myself. Knock on wood as Vex, and I've just been carrying because Silas is doing terrible. He's this is a terrible elo for him right now. He's like a D tier or whatever, and I can't climb with him at all. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I've been playing. I mean, I beat Ninja Gaiden last week, I believe. Um, and I got further in Metaphor. I'm almost to the final boss as well. So I have been doing that. But yeah, I haven't really been playing too much because I was like first 2 days of I took a vacation uh from last Thursday, all the way into my birthday, or all the way to this Thursday, rather. So I took off last Thursday, and then I started work today. But yeah, it was crazy. I had stuff planned for myself to do, and yeah, that kind of took me out for the last couple of days. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing. Let's get into the story. So the first story we got is it looks like Microsoft is going to be releasing for Forza Horizon 5 on PlayStation 5. And this comes after, like, they've been testing the waters with this for a while now. They already released Hi-Fi Rush, Grounded, Pentiment, and Sea of Thieves was released on PlayStation, and two of those were released on the Nintendo Switch as well, just to kind of test the waters. But it looks like, yeah, this one's slated for the spring, and then in the summertime, I believe we have in the summer of the fall, I think we have Indiana Jones is coming to the PlayStation as well. So I don't know if Xbox is fully committed to going third party, but it looks like they are. Um, as well as uh it looks like both of these games, or I'm sorry, it looks like Forza actually will be cross platform with Xbox and PC on the same day, like the day when it's released. So um, that's going to be cool. The PlayStation people can also have all the DLC as well, from like the Hot Wheels and the Rally Adventures and stuff like that. So um, for it looks like Gran Turismo is going to have some competition. I think people are going to love this game way more than Gran Turismo. This is more the arcades side of games. But I think this would be happy. I think this would be a good thing for everybody. I think those studios on the Xbox platform deserve to thrive, and I think people deserve to see, or those studios deserve the exposure to other platforms and other players, because there are games on Xbox that people haven't even played just because it's on Xbox. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm kind of happy for it. It is sad that this is the state of Xbox, though. I've already said I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. I don't really want them to get out of the gaming sphere, only because I don't want it to just be PlayStation and fucking Nintendo. I think that would be terrible. PlayStation has a terrible rap of blowing the lead and getting really greedy when they are on top. And Xbox, for some reason, just could not come through. So it is what it is with that. But yeah, hopefully they come through. So so next is, I'm going to combine these two. Um, so we have a story for EA executives and for Bioware. So we'll go with the Bioware thing first. So it turns out the Bioware um, layoffs were actually a restructure. So they did some more layoffs again, and they actually laid off around 100 people. Um, and some of them were just staff exits and stuff like that. So some people did leave on their own free will, and then some people did. Some people were laid off. So Bioware has been reduced to, I believe, like 150 people to 200 people now. They did have 400 people on staff, but they've been reduced down a lot. And this ties in with the second one, which was because I think last week we reported that Dragon Age didn't do too well. Um, it engaged with 1.5 million players, which is we're going to say at least sold 1.5 million copies, which is 50% below the company's expectations for it. So they wanted to at least sell 3 million, which is reasonable for a Dragon Age game. Um, but yeah, so like the second story that ties into this is because that game did so poorly. Now executives come out and they say that they think EA executives came out and said they think Dragon Age should have done better if it was a live service game. Um, I personally don't think so. Um, I know Dragon Age is an ongoing story, but me personally, I despise the whole single player live or live action, I'm sorry, live service aspect. I don't like Genshin Impact. I like Wuthering Waves, but I still don't like the payment model, and the idea that Dragon Age going to that is kind of like laughable. I would rather the series die, to be honest with you, than turn into something like that. I don't think games need to be pay to win. I think the game just need to be marketed better, and um, there are actual issues within the game. The writing needs to be better and stuff of that nature. Um, I can't believe that they still think like this after they've seen tons of games fail live service wise. Now there have been some games that come up, Infinity Nikki, Zenless Zone Zero, and start Honkai Star Rail and stuff like that. Um, just to name a few that have been released recently and have been thriving. But those are like rare amongst all the. We just had a multiverse, get laid off or shut down last week. Actually, oh, that's actually in the story. Yeah, so we just had multiverse get shut down. So I personally don't agree with EA. I understand why the executives are saying that, because the game failed, and this is their way to try to do that. But it gives me little hope for Mass Effect 5. I think they are going to turn that into a multiplayer game. If they are, I would rather them do the thing they did with Mass Effect 3. I know a lot of people didn't like Mass Effect 3's multiplayer, just because they felt like it was tacked on, but it was actually very deep. It was a wave shooter. It was a wave based thing, but it was like really deep. They had like tons of classes. Like you can play as a fucking Geth Goliath. You can play as a fucking Vorcha. Uh, you can play as a fucking I forgot the little breathy guys, like the one with the mask. You can play as them, and they all have like different biotics and stuff like that. You can play as different factions uh, from the Elusive Man's place, people and everything of that place of that nature. So I thought it was a really cool theme. Like the N7 Slayer was really cool. The N7 Nemesis was really cool, or the Nemesis the weapon, but it was N7 Slayer, the N7 I think Assassin or something like that. She was really cool as well. Um, I don't know. All of that was really cool. And if they implement something like they kind of botched it in uh Andromeda, it wasn't as good. But the gameplay in Andromeda was still good. But the classes they introduced you to in the gameplay, or the it just wasn't structured well as well as Mass Effect 3. So hopefully, like if they're gonna do that, then I think that is a good idea. I don't think the multiplayer should suffer though. Um, but they do need to bring back key writers from the old series of Mass Effect and Dragon Age to uh put this ship afloat. I understand that you're trying to give like these new guys some flair, but they've had since 2017 to get everything together, and they still don't know how to write a cohesive story with a realistic like thing. And I don't think so. I come to realize I don't think people are upset with the whole LGBT thing in these games. Like themes have been in the game. The people are upset with the way they are written. They're written in the very preachy manner, instead of the character just existing in the world. Um, can you imagine a character who's black and who's kind of like saying "I'm black" to everybody they meet or whatever? It's kind of annoying, and I'm a black person who's saying that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like in Mass Effect, in Dragon Age, they weren't really written like that. It was kind of just always implied until you like really deep got to the bevels of everything, and then you'll find out like, oh, okay, this person's actually bi, or this person's actually gay, or whatever the case may be. So it, I mean, I think Baldur's Gate did a very good job at this, and it is doable without being cringe. And the problem was a lot of the Dragon Age shit was cringe. So yeah, and I think a lot of people were turned off by the combat as well. I like the combat a lot, but I can definitely see why people don't like it, and especially if you're coming from like a CRPG of Dragon Age One, or I'm sorry, Dragon Age Origins, or um I'm sorry, that's my cats. Dragon Age Origins, or Dragon Age Inquisition, where you can pause time and stuff like that. You can do that here, but it was way more action focused. You can't really give uh like specific commands to your team and everything of that nature. You can tell them to do certain attacks, but you can't tell them to move here, move there, or anything like that. So it was very restrictive as far as that. They really wanted to focus on the character Rook being as powerful as possible, which I did feel. But I don't know. Um, Hopefully they can do a better job with Mass Effect. Uh, I want it to be a team RPG like Mass Effect 3. I don't want to be the best of the jack of all trades that I was as a Pathfinder in fucking Andromeda. So as much as I love the combat, yeah, they just need to do better writing, man. Like we just need better writing altogether. And hopefully they restructure it where they don't go with a fucking Shepherd. Maybe go into the past or something like that. A couple of years into the past, or redo the first Contact War. I think technically you can still put Liara into there because she was like 400 years old when you meet her in Mass Effect 1 and 2. So I mean, you can do a couple of years before that, and she can still be like a youngling, or young, you know, um, a young alien. I forgot their fucking things or whatever, but yeah. So that would be cool. So the next story we got here is, it looks like Battlefield Studios. Looks like Criterion's becoming a full support team, and they're going to be off Need for Speed for a while, which I know a lot of people, especially like Justin and DJ, they love Need for Speed. Uh, I'm still. They showed a 4 minute trailer. Vince Stampella was talking about the new Battlefield and where they're going to go with it and everything of that nature. Um, it looks like they're bringing back. Excuse me. It looks like they're bringing back like Levolution, which was the way you can like level all the planets, or sorry, the planets, all the maps and stuff like that. You can level them to the ground to where there were like nothing on the map. And I remember that was actually in Bad Company too. You can do that. Battlefield 3 had structures that could not be destroyed, so they can maintain integrity of the map and the map layout. And then Battlefield 4, I mean, yeah, you can knock down a skyscraper, but you couldn't destroy the entire map like you could in Battlefield Bad Company 1 and 2. Bad Company 1 and 2, you can destroy the entire map, and the entire map would be leveled. Um, which was really cool at the time. Battlefield 4 had a lot of good set pieces to where they would change the layout of the map if it took enough damage, like a dam would like wash over the map and then change the layout of the map a little bit. Like I said, the skyscraper falling, and then there's some other stuff in Battlefield 4. Battlefield 3, I think had the best of both worlds. It had a little bit of Bad Company in it, where as far as the destruction, but a little bit of Battlefield 4, where as far as like the map design stuff of that nature. Um, but this game seems like it's going back into like the Battlefield 3, 4 ish type deal. Um, I wasn't sold on it, me personally. You can sign up for the beta, I believe, or the alpha. It's They didn't announce when it's going to happen. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. They didn't announce when it's going to happen, but you can sign up for it if you go to the Battlefield website. I might sign up for it, but I just wasn't impressed. They showed like maybe like five, not even 5 minutes, like 30 seconds of gameplay, and it was like chopped up, edited, so you couldn't really even see anything. To be honest with you, so you don't know what it's going to be like. But they did this before. Um, where they like, oh, we're going back to boots on the ground and what made Battlefield, and they had these sick trailers and stuff like that, and they had the trailer where the actual player jumped out of the airplane, rocket launcher another player that was flying by in a dogfight, and then he jumped back into the plane, and they did like a very cinematic version of that in the trailer for Battlefield 2042, but we all know how Battlefield 2042 released. Not only was he a buggy mess, but it was a glorified operator slash hero shooter. And a lot of people didn't, including myself, did not like that. I, I, I hated that shit. I did like the Battlefield Portal. Portal was cool, where you can go back and you can play the past Battlefields in like a newer engine, which I thought was like really fucking cool. But some weird thing they did with that, you can't play all the Battlefields or something like that. I don't know. It's really weird how they got it set up. Um, so yeah, I don't really play that. A lot of people still play. Well, Battlefield One's dead. I think a lot of people go to Battlefield. I want to say Battlefield 5. Battlefield 5 sucks. So maybe people are back playing Battlefield 4, or they're just not playing Battlefield at all. Um, I haven't played Battlefield in about a year and a half now, maybe about 2 years, to be honest with you. Um, yeah, Battlefield 2042 just really turned me off the game, man. So hopefully they can bring it back. It looks like it's going more. I don't want to say this in a bad way, but from the little clips they showed, I got glimpses of Call of Duty 4 in there, which is not a bad thing, but not like Call of Duty like fast paced Twitch shooter, like Call of Duty like the atmosphere and what they're trying to portray and everything of that nature. As far as like modern warfare combat and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say I would say more so Battlefield 3/4. That's what I got from those little snippets, but we have to see. Hopefully they don't. The last couple Battlefields, Battlefield 4 was released in a broken mess, but it still did really good. Battlefield 1 actually released really good, I believe. Five was just nobody like five. And then obviously 2042 was a travesty. What happened to that game? So yeah, hopefully it comes back and it's a little bit stronger than what it is today. Yeah, but yeah. So the second thing is, or the other story is, I mentioned it earlier, was multiverse shutting down, and I thought this game already had a shutdown, and then people begged for it to be saved, and then it was saved, and then now they're shutting it down again. Um, and it's going to be shut down on May 30th. You can play the game offline, which is cool. So they do recommend that you buy uh all of the DLC and everything of that nature. Um, and yeah, so when season 5 comes out, that's going to be the end of it. Like that's it. So they're going to be bringing Aquaman and Lola Bunny, and those are going to be the last characters. Um, I'm sorry, and the final season has already kicked off. It kicked off on February 4th. So if you are into multiverse and you still want to get it, you have till May 30th to get the game and to download all the DLC, all the characters. Um, they're not free; you have to pay for them. But you can play this offline with your friends. So um, that is a good thing. They did make it offline to play, which is cool. But yeah, it's kind of it sucks. From what I understood, this game was relatively close. Super Smash Bros. I know it was very like floaty or whatever, but um, it was it was relatively good when it first came out as far as like the feel and everything like that. Because like even the Nickelodeon one, they didn't even have voices in the Nickelodeon one. And they added that later on. But Multiverse came out and it had that from the start. It had like the feel of the characters and everything, much like Super Smash Brothers. A lot of people did like Multiverse, but I guess it just didn't hit with a lot of players for some reason. Um, and it had two strong launches, but they just cratered in Steam charts and Twitch viewership, and it's just not there anymore. Um, it's a 3 year game. The game was released in 3 years, or it was released in July 2022. Uh, and then yeah, they actually put like rollback net coding in it and everything of that nature. I mean, they did a good job with the game. I don't think the game's bad. I actually, people who play multiverse, they love multiverse. I just think not enough people are playing it. I mean, you have Smash Brothers and all that shit like that. So uh I think WB is just they're shutting it down. Like it's not making them enough money. So I think everybody's restructuring. To be honest with you, I think we're just in that time of the year, or that phase right now where the economy is just causing everything to restructure. So I mean, it sucks, but it is what it is. So the next story we got uh is I saw this, but I didn't really look into it. So I'm trying to look into it now. But the ESA, or yeah, the ESA issued a statements on tariffs. So if you don't know what the ESA is, it's going to be the Entertainment Software Association, and they warn that the tariffs can cause significant harm to the gaming industry. Gaming industry is already at a decline. If you've been following us or listening to us for a while, we do the sales numbers every month. And yeah, I mean, they're still in the billions. They'll get it wrong. They'll make it seem like, oh, they're only selling like a couple million. Uh, but year over year for the last like 3 years, each month, man, it's been slowly declining, slowly declining, slowly declining. Sales, hardware sales, video game console sales, and everything. Um, so they said like, um, according to like CNBC, a 60% tariff on China would significantly impact the American consumers, raising the price of laptops and tablets by 45%. in video game consoles by 40% and smartphones by 26%. So that would, like for instance, it will be adding an extra for smartphones. For instance, it will be adding an extra like $213 or $215 to it. So these tariffs are not good for the American consumer. Um, I don't even think that's political at this point. That's just facts. We pay the tariff, the consumer, the American consumer. Uh, so what happens is if you don't understand how a tariff works, so let's say if I have some shirts, right, and the t-shirts cost $10, and I believe it's a 50% tariff. So let's say I put it in my stuff gets imported from China or whatever. I believe I think I'm doing this right. Just work with me, and it takes $5 to make the shirt in China, and then come over here and I sell that for a profit of $10 over here. If they put a 50% tariff on it, that will increase I will have to pass that on to the consumer. So it will actually cost me $10 to make that because I'm importing it from China. So it will cost me $10. The business who's importing from China because I'm importing from China instead of making the t-shirt here, and then that will be passed on to you. So now instead of you paying $10 for that, um, oh, I'm sorry, it'll be costing me $15, which I think will no, it would cost you $10, which in turn would get passed on to consumer, so that consumer would be actually eating that extra $10. So that instead of the shirt costing $10 now, it's going to cost $20 now. If that makes any sense, I think I did that right. Long story short, with whatever percentage of the tariff is getting passed down to the importer or the person like holding the goods and selling it to the consumer is going to eat that. So we're going to eat that cost. They're not going to eat that cost at all. Um, so I guess the counter to that is people are saying like, well, the income tax, they're trying to get rid of the federal income tax, which unfortunately doesn't equate. Even if we would have to um, do 100% tariff, according to some experts, to actually meet the the debt ratio that would be left by if we got rid of the federal income tax. Uh, and they say it still probably won't be enough. So that's not good. That's not a viable plan in my opinion. I think it's a terrible plan. I don't know what we're trying to do with these tariffs. We're even tariffing or we're even doing a trade war with our allies, which is Mexico and Canada. But I believe, and you guys can like look this up. I believe the deal that we signed it was the New Mexican Canada deal that we signed in 2018, and Trump signed that. Um, I, if I believe, and I believe Biden continued it, he didn't touch it. So the deal that was a bad deal was made by Trump himself, President Trump himself. So yeah, yeah. I just don't think these tariffs are a really good idea for anybody. We're already struggling at grocery stores and stuff like this. This could tank the gaming industry and consolidate it even more. I mean, we already see that gaming industry being consolidated slowly, but this right here could tank a lot of stuff. Um, and yeah, it's not a good look for us. I don't think it's a good look for the president. I don't think it's a good look for the industry as a whole. I think we should just kind of let this tariff thing go. Um, but there's a lot of pride and stuff like that behind this tariff thing. A lot of people really believe that other companies or other countries rather will be paying the tariff when that's not the case. In a perfect world, what's the idea of a tariff is for uh you to bring everything to the country that is issuing the tariff. So for instance, um say like if I'm a chicken farmer here in America and let's say we have a whole bunch of chicken farmers here in America, but in Germany or in the UK or something like that, right? They have, chicken farmers there. And you're like, oh well, some people may think their chicken's better or whatever the case may be. Not even better, but cheaper. America would tariff the UK and uh put a tariff on the UK and put a tariff on Germany, and then every grocery store that's importing chicken from them will be upcharged. So then that would in turn cause the grocery stores and the chains to use farmers that are in America, and then those farmers will be making that money and everything of that nature. Which like I said, a perfect world would work, but it's not a perfect world. Anything that comes from America that's made in America is expensive. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is due to globalization and the global economy. So that's why we do go to other countries with you know less strict laws on wages and everything of that nature, where the labor is cheaper, and we go there. So yeah, it's a whole thing. I'm not really in the political mood to talk about it, to be honest with y'all. Um, and I'm not really prepared. Like I don't have my whole paper things, and this is not a economics podcast; it's a video game podcast. But I do implore you to just learn what a tariff is, um, and why in this day and age, it's a really really bad idea. Um, so yeah, 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 just a bad idea, y'all. I'm sorry. Um, and I'm sorry for all the ums and stuff like that. But yeah, I am a little bit tired today. But yeah, I think that's it. I don't really have any. I looked at that email. I don't really have any questions. I looked in the player take email. I don't have any questions. So yeah, like I said, I'm sorry y'all for this whole short episode. I had to fill in. Um, both of us are old men. We both got took taken out. I got taken out by literally a carrot. It was crazy. I ate a carrot and then my chest was like inflamed. It was crazy. I can't really explain it to y'all, but it's like one of the most craziest things ever. Um, yeah, indigestion and uh, acid reflux is crazy, yo. Like it's so crazy. And then Justin fell and he fell pretty bad and hurt his shoulder. It dislocated his shoulder and had to literally pop it back in. So yeah, guys, just keep it easy out there. Stay fresh. And um I'm not on I am on Twitter still. I'm not on there actively though. I just had the account up because I have a lot of memories on it and I had the account locked. So it you can find me on Blue Sky actually at the same handle. It's I try for the Hokage, the number 4, not the word. At dot Blue Sky, whatever the handle is for Blue Sky. But I am on Blue Sky. Um, I would love for y'all to ask me questions on Blue Sky. Blue Sky right now is still growing. I don't follow too many video game people. I would get on back on Twitter, but for me personally, it's not the same. And there's a lot of propaganda being pushed on there, and I'm not too fond of the owner of Twitter right now. So that's why I'm not really on it as much. I don't really want to support the platform for what it is. Um, I'm a Twitter refugee, unfortunately. But yeah, and you can ask Justin at thundernut01 at on twitter.com, or you can email us at theplayerstake at gmail.com as well. And thundernut01 at gmail.com is not his Twitter handle. It's just thundernut01 on Twitter. But yeah, thank you guys and hope you have a good day.